Kelly. Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we are going to be choosing my May TBR. Now, the past few months I've been choosing my TBR very creatively and differently, but I thought maybe for May we should go back to our roots and come back to the TBR jar, the tried and true of BookTube. And I did mix it up a little bit for me personally. I typically would use this for TBR prompts, but this time I actually put book titles on the pages of books that are either on my shelves that I would like to read, on my 26 for 2026, so books I want to read this year, or just some books that I feel like I want to read right now. So kind of like a mood read jar, kind of some things that have been like, this has been on my shelf for a while, or this is something I really want to read right now. So I have no idea how many slips of paper in here. There's not a lot, but there's a decent amount. I will be picking 6 slips of paper from this jar. 6 is kind of the number of books I put on my TBR. Not that I will read all 6, but I feel like 6 is a good range of books, hopefully, that I can kind of mood read throughout the month. So yeah, I have no feelings for May. Maybe getting into some summer reads. I did put some summary titles down, but I'm also just kind of looking for something because I have not been in a reading mood, so I would love to have a book that I'm really excited to read and wanting to read. So let's pick our first book in the TBR jar. And our first pick is... oh, awesome! You can't read it. Blood of Hercules. This book I actually have on the Kindle app. I actually don't own it, but it's been a book that has been on my mind just because Greek mythology, fantasy type deal. Always loved that. So that is actually a book I have on the Kindle app. So I don't own it, but if I like it enough, maybe I will purchase it. So first book on the TBR is Blood of Hercules, and let's read the little description about it. I know it's Greek mythology, and that's kind of it about what I know. Blood of Hercules, a dark fantasy romance of myth and power, perfect for fans of Greek mythology and spicy book talk reads. Discover Hercules reimagined like never before. Villains of Lore, Book 1 by Jasmine Mass. Don't miss the overnight viral sensation. Okay, I'm just a girl, and it turns out I'm Hercules. I'm struggling to survive in a Titan-infested world where Spartans, immortals from 12 royal families who have godlike powers and obscene wealth, rule over all. A shy, stammering foster child with nothing. I keep my head down, cover my scars, and focus on excelling in school. At least I try to. Then it happens. My blood test reveals I'm part of the powerful elite. I'm one of them, a Spartan. Forced to attend the Spartan War Academy, I undergo the most harrowing test of all time to see if I have what it takes to be an immortal. There's just a few problems. Achilles and Patro are my scary mentors. Charon, the ferryman of death, and Augustus, the son of war, are my terrifying professors. Also, I'm pretty sure either someone's stalking me everywhere I go, or my sanity's slipping. I have a bad feeling both are true. I'm surrounded by villains, and they're smothering me with their hate, obsession, and dark possessiveness. Too bad for them. They have no clue who they're messing with. A dark romantasy for readers who love. Don't miss the electrifying sequel to Blood of Hercules, Bonds of Hercules, where the men are darker, the stakes are getting higher, and the last question you'll ask is who will she choose? Available now. Dang, it's a big book. It is 481 pages, which is fine. But I'm into it. It sounds pretty interesting, especially like romantasy and Greek mythology. And I love that Hercules is a female. So first pick, Blood of Hercules. All right, book number 2. I'm hoping for something summery, because I feel like May is like the intro into summer. Okay, let's do this one. That's so funny. Okay, this is Face Off. The two Kindle books that I put on sheets of paper are the ones that we picked, which is so funny, but also I always forget I have these in my library because I hardly ever read on my Kindle app. I read physical books, so maybe reading some books on Kindle app will be great. This is Face Off by Chelsea Corto. It's a spicy rivals to lovers hockey romance, and it's book 1 in the D-Stars series, which I've heard some controversy about this cover because it looks a lot like another very famous famous book that kind of took the storm this winter season. Heated rivalry. So yeah, but let's read the description about this. I do know it's just a hockey romance, but let's see who the characters are and all that. Emerson, or Emmy, Hartwell has waited for a spot on the NHL roster since she became a professional hockey player. And this season, she'll get the chance to showcase her talents with the struggling DC Stars. Maverick Miller is the best player in the team, and he's never had a winning record. Team captain and desperate to turn things around, he agrees to play nice with the fiery new left winger, even though they're total opposites. After a night where the tension between them reaches a tipping point and they fall in bed together, okay, Emmy and Maverick vow it was only one time, just once, to get it out of their system so they can play better and help their team. Doesn't mean anything. She doesn't date hockey players. He's a notorious playboy who doesn't date, period. Except what should have been just once happens again. Then again, they tell each other they're friends with benefits arrangement is only for the season, but despite facing off on the ice behind closed doors, the pair is nothing but fire. Face Off is spicy, dislike to lovers, sports romance with professional athletes, friends with benefits. He falls first, and a guaranteed happily ever after. Dang! Book 1 of 7. There's a lot of books in this series. Dang! Yeah, I've seen this book a lot on like Book Talk and all that because of hockey romance kind of blowing up with heated rivalry. I can't say the word, but you know what I'm talking about. But this looks fun. I mean, I'm just questioning like when would they put a female and a male on the same team? Not that I'm saying it's wrong. It's just like in my mind, I'm like, NHL, why would they both be on the same team? I know there's like the women's professional hockey because like Minnesota has the Frost, and then the men professional hockey is like the Wild. So like to me this doesn't make sense, but it's probably just a fun little hockey romance, what most people want. But that is our second book and the only other book that is on the Kindle app that I have. Which, wait, actually I think there's one more in my jar, so I could pick that too as well. We'll see. Book number 2 is Face Off by Chelsea Corto. Yeah. Book number 3 is going to probably most likely be a book on my shelf because, like I said, there's only one other slip of paper in here that has a book that's on the Kindle app, and that's the last and final book. But this one is Tangled Up in You by Christina Lauren. Where did I put that? I think it's actually behind me. Right here. Tangled Up in You, a meant-to-be novel by Christina Lauren. I really just bought this book maybe like a year and a half ago because it is a Tangled retelling or a Rapunzel retelling. And if you do not know, I absolutely love Tangled. It's my favorite Disney princess movie. Yeah. And literally it's literally just like a reimagining of Tangled. So I'll read the back. It says, she has a dream, he has a plan. Together, they'll take a leap of faith. Ren has never held an iPhone, Googled the answer to a question, or followed a crush on social media. What she has done, read a book or 2 or 3, okay, hundreds, taught herself to paint, and built a working wind power system from scratch. But for all the books she's read, Wren has never found one that can teach a woman raised on a homestead and off the grid for most of her 22 years how to live in the real world. So when she achieves her lifelong dream of attending Corona College, it feels like her life is finally beginning. Fitz has the rest of his life mapped out, graduate from Corona at the top of his class, get his criminal record wiped clean, and pass himself off as a rich, handsome player everyone thinks he is. He's a few short months from checking off step 1 of his plan when Wren Glyden, why did they put Glyden? With her cascading blonde hair and I can't think of this word right now. I know it is. Encyclopedic. There we go. Brain crashes into his life, and for the first time, Fitz's plan is in jeopardy. But a simple assignment in their immunology, I can't speak today, seminar changes the course of both their lives, and suddenly they're thrown out of the frying pan and into the fire on a road trip that will lead them in the most unexpected directions. When they're out on the open road, the world somehow shifts, and their unlikely pair realize that maybe the key to dreams they've both been chasing has been sitting next to them the whole time. I loved the little clues and things about that, like the frying pan and how Fitz is kind of like a play off Eugene Fitzherbert. So love that. Love the name Fitz also as like a character. Not like an actual name, but like as a character I love. But yeah, this is fun. Oh my gosh, and it's a white Mustang that he drives because Maximus is a white horse. Actually, absolutely love. Can't believe I haven't read this yet. I think this is just going to be fun, especially since Tangled's my favorite Disney movie. So I'm super excited to say that this is book number 3 on the TBR. We have our first physical copy, which is great. So let's see what the second half of the TBR books will be. I want this one. It's kind of slightly open, but it says local woman missing. I can read it, which I'm kind of glad we picked this up because I was worried we were gonna get a lot of romance, so I threw some like horror and thriller mystery books. But I got this maybe a year or 2 ago through a little free library, and I know it's a sort of popular thriller book by Mary Kubica. But it says people don't just disappear without a trace. Shelby Thibault is the first to go missing, then Meredith Dickey and her 6-year-old daughter Delilah vanished just blocks away from when Shelby was last seen, striking fear into a once peaceful community. After an elusive search that yields more questions than answers, the case eventually goes cold. Now, 11 years later, Delilah shockingly returns. Everyone wants to know what happened to her, but no one is prepared what they'll find, and some people will stop at nothing to keep the truth from being told. Okay. It's been a little bit since I've read a mystery thriller, and I feel like this would be a good, like, read. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of another book. What's the one that, like, The Return of Rachel Price? Because, like, doesn't she go missing and then she comes back? I haven't read that book, but I know similar vibe of, like, they were missing and now they're back and like what happened to you type deal. So that is book number 4 on the TBR. We got 2 more books. I don't know what I'm hoping for. Hopefully something good, obviously, but you never know with the jar. The jar kind of decides for me, and we're gonna go with this one on top. Okay, let's upside down. That's so funny. We picked all 3 Kindle books. This is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, and that is the last and final book on my Kindle app. So we're going to be doing a lot of e-reading, it sounds like, this month. The Poppy War, an epic fantasy of war, magic, and mythology in a high conflict war from best-selling Arthur R.F. Kwong. Now, I've been really wanting to read this book, or just anything by R.F. Kwong. I know this is part of a series, and it's book 1. And oh my gosh, did I just read that this was 545 pages? Oh boy. Okay. Let me see if I can find the summary, and I will read it to you. When Rin aced the Kiju, the empire-wide test to find the most talented youth to learn at the academies, it was a shock to everyone, to the test officials who couldn't believe a war orphan from Rooster Province could pass without cheating, to Rin's guardians who believed they'd finally be able to marry her off and further their criminal enterprise, and to Rin herself, who realized she was finally free of the servitude and despair that had made up her daily existence. That she got into Seingard, the most elite military school in Nakan, was even more surprising. But surprises aren't always good, because being a dark-skinned peasant girl from the south is not an easy thing at Seingard. Targeted from the outset of rival classmates for her color, poverty, and gender, Rin discovers in this grim, dark fantasy that she possesses a lethal, unearthly power, an aptitude for the nearly mythical art of shamanism. Exploring the depths of her gift with the help of a seemingly insane teacher and psychoactive substances, Rin learns that the gods long thought dead are very much alive, and that mastering control over those powers could mean more than just surviving school. For a while, the Nakara Empire is at peace. The Federation of Mugen still lurks across a narrow sea. The militarily advanced Federation occupied Nakan for decades after the First Poppy War, but only barely lost the continent in the second. And while most of the people are complacent to go about with their lives, a few are aware that a third Poppy War is just as far away. Rin's shamanic powers may be the only way to save her people, but as she finds out more about the god that has chosen her, the vengeful Phoenix, she fears that winning the war may cost her humanity, and that it may already be too late. Huh. Okay. Seems like a lot, especially since it's high fantasy. I feel like I need a lot of brain power for that, but I'm excited nonetheless. I feel like it's going to be a great book. I've heard nothing but amazing things about R.F. Kwong's writing, especially this series. So that is book number 5. We picked all 3 Kindle books. So the last and final book is going to be a physical book, which is kind of fun. I have half physical books and half Kindle books. So let's see what our last and final book will be. Looking at this, it doesn't look like there's a lot in here, but I swear there's at least 10 more slips of paper in here, okay? They're just kind of getting clumped together. But we're gonna pick... Do I look? I feel like I shouldn't look, because then you'll think I'm just picking what I want. I want this one. Oh, okay. It's so hard to... There we go. The Simple Wild. That is going to be up on my top shelf. Right here. The K.A. Tucker. I actually received this through a book swap at Tropes and Trifles in Minneapolis. And from what I remember is somebody is sick or something. I don't really want to read the back. I feel like I just read a lot of summaries to you, and I don't know if you want to hear me read another one. We have Kala Fletcher. When her mother took her and fled to Alaska. She braves roaming wildlife, the odd daylight hours, and the exorbitant prices, and even the occasional outhouse. While she struggles to adjust to this rugged new environment, Jonah, the unkempt, obnoxious Alaska pilot who keeps her father's charter plane company operational, can't imagine calling anywhere else home. Okay, so she wants to leave, he wants to stay. Kindle romance. It's truth that turns out to be not so simple at all. I thought there was something about someone being sick in this. I thought maybe it's something that got spoiled to me, but I know it is like a romance type book, but it's probably not like a hockey romance where it's like all spicy and silly haha. It's probably more serious. More of a like, what's the word I'm thinking of? Not like coming of age because they're probably adults, but you know what I mean, more like serious emotional romance than funny, silly, goofy, legs are kicking and I'm just like, hee, I'm just a girl romance. That's what I'm thinking. Like dramatized. Like if this was a movie, this would be like a drama. Like romance and drama, while the others are like a rom-com. I have no idea if that makes sense. So this will be our last and final pick for our May TBR. Okay, we have a half and half split between how I'm reading this month, which might be very fun. It's been a while since I've read an ebook actually. Well, maybe not too long, but I'm glad I'm getting some of the books read in my Kindle library because I've had them for a little bit through Prime Reading and I always forget about them because they're not on my shelves. They're on my virtual shelf. So I'm super glad. So those books that I have on my Kindle shelf is Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Mass or Moss. Face Off by Chelsea Corto. I'm trying to do this all by memory. And then The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. So those are the 3 books that I will be reading off of my Kindle library this month. And the 3 physical books that I have are Tangled Up in You by Christina Lauren, Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica, and The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. So these are the 3 physical books I have, which might be a little easier to remember to read since I can see them more than the virtual or ebooks, but we'll see. We'll see what we get read in the month of May. I'm very excited about this 50-50 split on our reading formats this month. I think it just is going to spice up my reading adventure this month, and it's some books that have kind of been on my mind for a while, so I'm super excited to hopefully get into them this month. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and also make sure you subscribe. I post videos once a week, whether it's bookish content like this, lifestyle vlogs, kind of whatever I'm in the mood for. So if you like what you're seeing, you should go ahead and subscribe. That's about it. Thanks for watching. Bye!